Okay, this video is going to be cover my teen years, my story, bipolar. First I need to do a little plug on one of my other videos called The Evolution of Me, so if you're interested at all how I looked from age 0 to the current age, it's on my profile. Those slideshows set the music. Got some interesting pictures on there, you know, where I go through the punk rock stage and stuff. Okay, so going from childhood to teenhood. We moved. I went to high school first time, and a girl introduced herself to me and we became best friends. The only friends in school. We were both outcasts. She'd already had the rumor spread about her that she was a lesbian, but in fact she was not. She was straight as an arrow. And because I became friends with her, I was associated with that term and also began to be teased and really completely harassed. I walked to and from school, so that was hard. Cars going by, kids yelling things at me, nasty words I can't even say. And then they started calling the house, and my parents didn't like that. And my dad blamed all the trouble that I got into on this one friend. But to be honest, I made my own decisions, got into my own trouble. And the fact was is that I was the one that was gay. And she didn't hold it against me, she, you know, with all the teasing and that. And then we found an outlet, a place where we belonged, people that liked us, people that didn't call us names, punk rockers. Here, to conform, you had to be different. Being different was good. And it was comfortable. It was lovely. It was my home, those friends were. So during the week I endured the harassment, was under intense stress, cried a lot. It was, I mean, they called and said things to my dad on the phone. And then on the weekends we go to our teen club and we go to parties and see our friends and just be ourselves, and I loved it. I was so at home. I'd never felt at home before. And I got my first girlfriend. She was beautiful. Beautiful green eyes, and she had a voice like cashmere. She was a liar. She never showed up where she was supposed to be. Didn't call when she was supposed to, and had really lame excuses, but that voice would just get me every time. And then something horrible happened. My parents decided that because of the harassment that was going on in this friend that I insisted on staying friends with, and the school, they emphasized that the school district, it was pretty crappy, it was. So they wanted us to be in a better school system. And they moved us about 45 minutes away from where we used to live. But it was far enough for the phone company to count it as long distance. So I could only talk to my friends in short, like 15-minute calls, infrequent. I was only 14 and going on 15. I couldn't drive. It was too much to ask my parents to drive me back and forth to somewhere, and I was absolutely miserable. And I kept hearing about all the things that my friends were doing without me, and it just broke my heart. And my girlfriend got a new girlfriend that lived closer, and that broke my heart even more. I did when school started at my new school, I did make new friends, new punk rock friends, right away on the first day, right at the bus stop. And things were looking up. I was doing better in school. It was a better school district, and I wasn't being harassed. You know, so I mean, I had the bad things weighing me down, and I had some good things kind of balancing it out. And nobody would have thought any different of these things because I was a teenager, and teenagers are extreme. Moods, swings, everything's intense. But something else came within me that made the scale balance tip. The good didn't seem to be enough anymore, and the bad just seemed to expand and take up my whole being. And I was depressed, clinically depressed. It started out with the agitated kind of depressed, angry, bitter, crying and crying and crying, volatile outbursts. But nobody would think much of that, you know. I was a teenager, I was a girl, hormonal. And then I went quiet and sort of what I call a sweet melancholy. And I decided that if in 2 weeks after my 15th birthday, if I did not feel better, I was going to commit suicide. So I purposely, in preparation, started acting like I felt better. I was pretending. I didn't want anybody to worry about me. I was concerned about them worrying about me, so I pretended that I was okay, and I was telling everybody, oh yeah, it's great, yeah, I feel a lot better, and yeah, I'm having fun, and I'm making friends, and I controlled the crying, and I also didn't want them to catch on, because I didn't want them to stop me. So 2 weeks after my 15th birthday, I didn't feel any better. And I picked a day. It was a Saturday, exactly 2 weeks after. And I'm gonna stop here so I can continue with how I went about that. I didn't even know what I was doing was typical of suicide attempts, and I did it textbook. So I'm going to stop here and continue in the next video.